Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a video about the top 16 authors that I really hope to see at BookCon this year. Again, I really was trying to do a top 10 video, but there are so many amazing authors that BookCon has coming this year and signing at the convention, so I could not narrow my list down any further. So these are the 16 that I am most excited for. And for those who don't know, BookCon is happening in New York City at the Javits Center on June 3rd and 4th of this year. There's going to be a ton of people from the book community that are going to be there in addition to the authors. There is a booktube panel and there's definitely going to be like meetups and stuff, so it should be really fun. And I'm just gonna get into the authors that I hope to see. The first author on my list is Jenny Han. I sadly have never met Jenny Han before, and I am one of her biggest fangirls. I love all of her books. I have actually read every single YA book that she has written, and I'm so sad that I don't have anything else to currently read, but I just love all of them. I love her characters. I think she does such a great job of writing them. She also has like the absolute cutest author photos ever. So I have always wanted to meet her, but her launch for the Lara Jean books is always in Brooklyn, which is annoying to get to, so I've never actually like gone out of my way to be there for one of the launches, even though I totally wish that I had, because she always does really awesome things. But I'm really excited that she's going to be at BookCon this year, because she's probably like one of the top 2 authors on my list that I haven't met yet that I really want to meet. Next on my list is Cassandra Clare. Cassandra Clare is another author that I have not yet met. She wrote a million books and I've also read pretty much all of them. The only one that I haven't actually read yet is the Bane Chronicles. I cannot wait for Lord of Shadows. So I'm filming this before Lord of Shadows comes out, and probably I will have already finished it by the time this video goes up. I'm so excited for that one, but I really want to meet her because I've never met her before and she seems like a really nice person. I've watched a ton of interviews with her that different people on BookTube have done, and I have like just... It took me like a little bit because I didn't love the Mortal Instruments series as much as her other series, so it took me a little bit to like fall in love with her characters. But I loved City of Heavenly Fire, I loved The Infernal Devices, and oh my gosh, Lady Midnight is everything. So I really do want to meet her and have her sign my books. Number 3 on my list is Sarah J Maas. I have never met Sarah J Maas. I've been in the same place as her a couple of times because she was at BEA BookCon in 2015, and she also came to Books of Wonder for Susan Dennard and Alexandra Bracken's Passenger Truthwitch tour when that was happening. So she was there, but I didn't really get to like fully meet her and talk to her and like have her sign anything. She wasn't signing anything then, obviously, because it wasn't her event, but I've never met her, and as you all know, I really love her books too, particularly the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which recently wrapped up, and my heart is still like trying to cope with everything that happened in that book. But I loved it so much and I really would like the opportunity to meet her at some point. Number 4 on my list is Laini Taylor. I met Laini Taylor at BEA last year, but it was like a very brief interaction. So I would like to meet her further, and she was giving out chapter samplers for Strange the Dreamer, which is now out, and I have not yet read it. I need to do that, and I also still need to read Dreams of Gods and Monsters, but I did love the first 2 books in that series, so I would love to meet her and also have her sign some of my books. Next on my list is Leigh Bardugo. I've never met Leigh Bardugo yet, and I love Crooked Kingdom with all of my heart. I love Jesper and Wylan. They are my babies, and I really would love to have her sign something for me. Oh my gosh, I did meet her actually. I met Leigh Bardugo last year at BEA, and she also was signing like a very tiny chapter sampler for Crooked Kingdom, and that was even before I had met Six of Crows, so I would really like to get to meet her again now that I am actually familiar with her work and now that I love Crooked Kingdom so much. Number 6 on my list is Maggie Stiefvater. I also met Maggie last year at BEA and she signed a copy of The Raven King for me, and that was so exciting. And I had already had a copy of The Raven King, so so I was able to give mine to Cassie, which worked out really well. But I really love those books. That is like one of my favorite YA series of all time. And I think it would be so much fun to just get to see her again. And I really, really hope that I get the opportunity to do so. Number 7 on my list is Marissa Mayer. I also met Marissa Mayer a couple of years ago at BEA. I want to say it was 2015 also, but I have never had her sign any of my books. In 2015, I can't remember if I had read the Lunar Chronicles yet or if I had only read Cinder and I needed to read more of them, so I didn't wait on her line that year, but last year I waited and almost got killed on the line for Heartless. So I was able to see her and she signed my Heartless arc, but I really would love if she could sign my copies of the Lunar Chronicles because I really loved that series, especially Cress. If I could only get one signed, I would want her to sign Cress for me because that one was definitely my favorite. Number 8 on my list is Morgan Matson. Morgan Matson is an author that I have not yet met, and I love all of her books. The only one that I have not yet read is Second Chance Summer because I am terrified of just crying forever. I know that it involves a parent with cancer, and that is obviously like a really sensitive topic for me, so I have never felt like I could emotionally handle it, but everyone tells me that it's so good, so I really do want to read it very soon, and I know that I will read it. I always like go to pick it up and then I'm like, I don't think I can do it yet. But of her books, I would love if she could sign Since You've Been Gone for me because I think that one is probably my favorite. Number 9 on my list is Rainbow Rowell. She is another author that I have not yet met, but I love Fangirl so much. I have 4 hardcover copies of Fangirl, all with different covers. And if she were to come out with more, I would very happily buy them because Fangirl is one of my favorite contemporary YA books. I also really loved Carry On, and I am obsessed with the new cover art that just came out that Kevin Wada did for the paperback version. And yeah, I just love Rainbow Rowell, and I think that all of her stories are so well written and so beautiful, and they really resonate with me, so I would like die if I got to meet her. Number 10 on my list is Kendara Blake. I have never met her before either, but I've listened to a bunch of podcasts that she's been on. I've read a bunch of interviews with her, and I really loved the Anna Dressed in Blood duology. Also, most recently, the Three Dark Crowns. That was really good, and I think that hopefully she'll be promoting One Dark Throne at this upcoming BookCon in BEA. That's going to be the conclusion to that duology. It was really good. I just really enjoy her writing, and I think that she just does such a great job, so it would be really cool to meet her. Number 11 on my list is Renee Ahda. She wrote the Wrath and the Dawn duology and The Flame and the Mist. I really love The Wrath and the Dawn. I have not yet picked up or read The Flame and the Mist yet, but I will probably do so soon because that's a Mulan retelling, so that would be really cool. And also, I've seen like interviews and stuff with her too, and she always has the prettiest eye makeup, so I would love to like get a photo with her and get her to sign my copy of The Wrath and the Dawn. Number 12 on my list is Sarah Dessen. As you guys know, because I've been talking about, so I've only read one Sarah Dessen book so far, but the one that I'm most anticipating is her newest book, Once and For All, because it follows a wedding planner, and now that I don't have to plan a wedding, I would love to read about that. So I've been really looking forward to that one, and I would really like to meet her. I am going to continue reading her books even though I didn't really enjoy That Summer, but I feel like she's just such an important YA author, so it would be really nice to get to interact with her. Number 13 on my list is E. Lockhart, who wrote We Were Liars. There's actually a deluxe edition of We Were Liars that just came out. And I totally bought it because I really, really loved that book. I thought it was like shocking when I was reading it. I was so into it and I just really loved it. So it would be really cool to meet her. And I also really want to read The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks because I know that that takes place at a boarding school and it's supposed to be like a very feminist novel. So I'm really looking forward to reading that one. And she's also coming out with a new book, another thriller, which cannot wait, but it's called Genuine Fraud. That's coming out in the fall, so I'm sure that she'll be talking about that one, and I would just love to get that. 14th on my list is Stephanie Garber. I had the pleasure of meeting Stephanie last year at BEA, and she was one of the sweetest people ever, but it was before her debut book Caraval came out, so I hadn't yet read it, but I was really, really anticipating it. So now that I have read it and loved it, I would love to get to meet her and like just tell her how much I loved her book, since last year I was just like, I'm so excited to read your book, and now I can be like, your book is amazing. So I would love to meet her. Number 15 on my list is Susan Dennard, because I've already met Susan several times and she is always like so awesome and so much fun and just like one of the coolest people ever. But I have already met her, and actually pretty much I think all of my books of hers are already signed. I can't remember if Wind Witch is signed or not, because I didn't say for the signing portion at Books of Wonder, but the rest of my books by her are signed, so it would just be really cool to like see her again and be like, hey, I still love your books, you're cool. And then last on my list, but certainly not least, is V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, who I have also met several times. Victoria is so awesome and I love all of her books, and she again is on the later end of my list because every single one of her books that I have is already signed. I remember when she came to New York, I found out like very last minute and I was so excited that she was going to be there. So I gathered like all of my books of hers and I made Andrew come to the signing with me, and I gave him half of them and I took half of them because I was like, I don't know if there's going to be like a limit on how many you're allowed to have signed. So she signed like mine, and then I was like, oh, this is my husband Andrew, and she was like, okay, so these are yours too. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, that's fine. So it worked out like that she was able to sign all of them, and hopefully that wasn't like too annoying for other people. It was before some of her other ones came out, so there wasn't as many as you might be thinking. But she's just a lovely person and I always really enjoy hearing everything that she has to say. The first time that I met her, I like fangirled like way more than I was expecting to. I normally have no problem meeting people and like just being like, hey, and being a normal person, but like I apparently wasn't when I met her. But she was really nice, and I like since then have seen her a couple more times, and she's always just like so sweet. So I would love to meet her for the third or fourth time, and I would like to get my copies of The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet signed. So those are all of the authors that I have on my list that I want to see at BookCon. Let me know if you want to meet any of these authors, or if you know of other authors that are going to be at BookCon that are like the top of your list to meet. And also let me know if you're going to be at BookCon, because then we can potentially run into each other, and that would be fun. So that's all that I have for this video, and I'll see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!